Okay, this is the walkthrough of the 2005 Fleetwood diesel motorhome. I'll just begin by taking out the slides, turn the engine on, and I'll show you more about that later on in the video, but you turn it on, and then you come up here, and you have your driver's side and passenger side that you can switch between. So we'll do driver's side first, and we'll push out, and you hold it down. See it come out, make sure nothing is in the way. Once it fully seals, see it drop a little bit. Fully seal, you let go, and then we'll go to the passenger side, and then we'll hold that out. Okay, it's fully sealed, and then we'll do the bedroom. Again, remember that the engine is on. Turn the light so you can see in and out. So we're going to want to go out. If you try to force it in when it's already in, it could pop the fuse. And then on this one, it goes out pretty quick, and you have to watch it for when it seals. You stop it right when it stops. And that's out. Okay, to run the air conditioner, if you're not plugged in, you have to turn the generator on. How you turn the generator on is right here. And turn it off, hit off, and then you'll see this screen go on. When you want to go on, you hold it down. And if the generator is cold, then you'll have to wait a minute before it pops on. That's the hour gauge there. So this is lit, so we know that the generator is on. Once the generator is on, you can use the air conditioner, and you can use the microwave. If you're plugged into 50 amp service or 40 amp service, usually you can use these things too without the generator. But to operate the thermostat, you have cool and heat, and this is how you switch between the modes. So if you push it, that'll go second zone high, second zone low, just the fan low, off for the second zone, and then auto, and then you can set your temperature here. And then for zone 2 or zone 1, you can switch, and then as well go through the modes. We'll keep it on cool, zone 1, auto, and then of course you can set the temperature. And then heat, you just click it that same way and turn on the heat. If you're plugged in, this will tell you which amp service that you have, and then once the generator is running for a little bit, this will tell you how many amps you're drawing from the generator. Up here is all of your gauges, your main battery on, auxiliary battery on. Usually you just leave those on the whole time. Inverter, we'll turn that on. And off the inverter, you can run the refrigerator. Let's turn the water heat pump on as well. Water heater, gas, you can turn that on, and that fault will come on if the water heater does not light. So if it stays off, you're good to go. And then our fresh tank, we see right now it's 3/4. You just hold these buttons down. Gray tank is showing half. It's not. The sensors must be clogged right now. And then black is showing half, but it's not. It's empty. And then propane is full. Main battery you have your amperage and house batteries or auxiliary battery, you have your amperage. So you have two separate battery units. The main battery is for the engine to start, and they like to keep that separate so that if you run low on your auxiliary battery, you'll still be able to start the motorhome. Another trick is if your engine batteries are dead or your main batteries are dead, you can hold this button down as you crank the engine, and it will connect the auxiliary batteries or the house batteries and the main batteries or the engine batteries together so that you'll be able to start the engine. So I actually usually just do that every time. That brings us into the leveling jack system. So here's the leveling jack system. You turn the system on by pressing on. You'll see it come on. And then if you want to put down the jacks, you just hit auto. And you have to wait a while. You have to maybe wait 5 minutes. And then you'll go out and visually inspect and make sure the jacks are down and that you're level. And then the engine has to be on for that. I don't know if I already said that. And then once you're leveled out, this button will light up and it will say something like all jacks level, and then you'll know that the system is done when this middle light lights up. When you want to retract and you're ready to leave camp, you another thing, before you operate this system, make sure that your suspension is on bottom or on lower. So when you park and you're going to be staying overnight, I usually don't do the leveling jacks or don't do this unless I'm staying overnight. But then you lower the suspension, then you put down your jacks. When you're ready to leave, keep your suspension on the lower portion, and then retract all jacks. And then you gotta wait a while, and maybe 5 minutes, and then go outside and check and make sure the jacks are retracted. Sometimes this won't show that it's fully retracted, but just as long as you do a visual inspection and they're clear, then you're good to go, and then you can turn the system off. Over here is your engine brake. When you're driving and you're going downhill, or if you're towing, you just want to always leave that on. This will use the engine to help you brake, so you're not wearing out your brakes, which could be a danger. So put that on when you're going down grades. A lot of people use it just all the time, but what happens is when you're driving, if you let off the brake pedal, it will automatically engage that, or sorry, if you let off the gas pedal, it will automatically engage that. Let's see, we have our power mirror adjustment. You can go left and right and then adjust the mirrors right here and there, and then you have your headlights. Turn your headlights on and everything lights up here. And here's your engine monitor system. Tells you if everything's normal. So if you get like a check engine light that lights up here, it'll tell you what's going on. It'll give you more information down here. Your hazards are right here. Dashboard air conditioning when the engine's running. Over here, when you do the leveling system and you put it on auto, you're gonna make sure that this is, up past at least 65 before you drive off, so the airbags have enough suspension to run. Here's your voltage, engine temperature, fuel, horse RPMs, and speedometer. Over here you can lower the sunshades, lower and raise the sunshades. This is left, middle, and then this is right. Here's your screen. You'll see a line on the screen. You won't see that in real time. You turn on and off, adjust between day and night, brightness. This is actually a speaker, so if you have someone out there, you can turn that on and hear them, which is kind of handy. This will turn on the radio if the engine's off. Of course, the radio, there's plugs. Some are labeled inverter, which means you don't have to have the generator running to use those to charge phones or whatnot. Let's go ahead and shut the engine off. And we'll shut the generator off. So you'll be able to hear a little bit better. Let's see, okay, the TV. Let's actually move to the beds. So the beds, this is a jackknife bed here. You lift up and it folds out into a bed. Here's your extra blankets. Here's your sheets, some extra blankets. Up here we normally keep the pillows. I think those are in the back right now. Here's your refrigerator. Make sure these are latched when you drive off. There's your fridge. It's off right now because the inverter's off. And then these latch. And then your freezer. The freezer doesn't have a light, so that's normal if that doesn't light up. This one lights up and then you know it's on. Okay, so that's the jackknife sofa bed. This also turns into a bed, and this leg unscrews, and you just kind of lift up a little bit and unscrew it, and then to get this table off, you tilt it up about that high, and then it should pull out of the thing. Don't force it, but you just have to get the right angle before it will pop out. And then you lay this down on here in between those two, and then you just spread the cushions out to make that bed. And then obviously the master bed is self-explanatory there. Okay, you have your bathroom in here, and it operates like a normal bathroom does. You have a little lever down there, a normal RV bathroom that is. You hold that down, and that's that. And then you have your fan up here, which you can open that way, and then you can turn the fan on right here, and it airs it out pretty good. And these you can actually drive with while you're driving because they have covers, so it won't damage the little plastic flap. But that's how you open that. Turn that off. Here's the water pump you can turn on from here. The light, of course, and then actually don't know which light that is. And then here's toilet paper. Don't ever throw toilet paper in the toilet. Throw your toilet paper in this can and then just take those out as needed. There's extra bags in here to get rid of those, but don't ever throw toilet paper down the chute. Here's some chemicals. This is actually gray tank chemicals, and if the motorhome starts to stink a little bit, you can dump a couple tablespoons of this down any of the sinks or any of the drains. If you want to treat the black tank, you put a few tablespoons of this down the toilet hole. And here is a washer and dryer that we don't use, and we advise not to use. Complicated to operate, and the belt doesn't work. And then we have the shower in here, and turn it on there. Drain, self-explanatory. A little skylight to give you a little bit more headroom. drawers in here with baskets. This last one has a hamper so you can put dirty clothes in there. Drawers to put more clothes in. Here's a Roku TV and a DVD player. You can hook this up to the internet and log into your accounts in order to get you know, Netflix and all that, but there's also a TV antenna attached to there, so you might be able to pick up some channels. Here's actually the antenna right here. So there's that closet, a little vacuum, some extra pillows, basic things. That plug over there runs off the inverter, so you can use that to charge at night. There's a plug underneath this table. It's a popular spot to use to charge phones because you can plug it in and then put your phones on top of that. Here's pantry, type of food and whatnot down there. That's convenient. Up here, little spices, more storage. Down here, we normally keep the plastic trash bags. Refrigerator. Microwave. To operate that, hit time cook, and then you turn the dial to what you want, and then you can push it twice to start it. So that's how you operate that. Okay, the oven. You have to light the pilot on the oven, and how you light the pilot is you turn this here, and then you push and you hold that down, and then you have the other hand coming down here and lighting the pilot light. It's kind of in the middle right there. You'll see it when you flash the light, but you have to hold that for like 10 or 15 seconds until it lights, it self-lights, and then you can let go of this and then turn the temperature on, and then you just look below, make sure it's glowing because it's flame, and you have that. And then never use the oven when these covers are on because these will warp, so you always have to take these covers off. The stove, it's just self-explanatory how that works. Sink, self-explanatory. Make sure the water pump's on. There's a water pump switch here. Here's a lighter. Basic stuff down here. We have some basic cookware, spatulas, storage bags. Up here we have some pans, basic pans, strainer, some basic plates and cups, plastic. That. Up here we have miscellaneous tools and stuff, basic tools, very basic, and then some extra playing cards and parts for the motorhome, owner's manuals. This cigarette lighter works for charging if you have a car charger. Okay, here's the outside. I'll show you a little bit about that. This front bin just has some extra storage in there. This is the exhaust pipe for the generator. So if you're at a campsite, it should be kind to others. Basically, you don't want to be blowing gas into their camp. There's the diesel fill, only use diesel. There's fill-ups on both sides, which makes it convenient for going into gas stations. Here's just some extra storage on the driver's side. We have some cleaning things in there. We have some pads for the leveling jacks that you can put down. Some campsites require that. And then extra motorhome parts in there, which you're not really going to use. And then in here, there's more storage in the hose. The water pump is actually right there. You don't really have to ever do anything with that. Here's where you fill with water from the, if you're running low on water. Or if you're in a campground, you can hook up your water to right here and do it that way. Outside shower, you can turn on and off the water pump there. Here's your sewage pipes. Okay, you'll see right here, one has a thick tube and one has a small tube. The small tube is the gray water, which is your sink water. The big tube is your black water. So when you dump, you want to dump your black water first and let it completely drain, and then dump your gray water so it flushes out the hose. The black hose is kind of leaky, so I would use the brown hose. Is better. Let's see. Oh, and then you can do a black water flush. When you're dumping the black tank, you can hook up the hose from wherever you're dumping. They always have hoses, or you can use the hose in there and then flush out your black tank. And what you do is you close it, fill it with a little bit of water. It shoots, kind of sprays the whole black tank. Don't do it too long, maybe like 1 minute tops, because you don't want it to blow out the toilet by overfilling it. And then turn the water off and then dump the black tank. So that's just a little way to flush it. The wheels, you can see the tire pressure is here. You can check that. Here's your venting for your hot water heater. This is your inverter. A bunch of fuses in here. If you ever pop your fuse when for your slides, these top two, see those fuses? Those are for the front and the back, or the front two slides. I've never had either of those pop, but every once in a while, if you strain it too much by pushing the wrong way or holding it too long, this one will pop. And I have spare fuses above the driver in the cabinet overhead. And so that little clear fuse, that round cylindrical clear fuse, is the one that you'll see is broken. Here's a battery charger tender thing. Here's your engine batteries, and then I'll show you where the house batteries are. When you let these latches down, you let them down nice and slow, because if you slam them down, they could break these little plastic latches. And before you drive, you always want to make sure these are latched. Especially the front side, because the wind will come down the side of the motorhome and catch in between and can rip the door off. So always go around before you're taking off and latch. That one's not latching. There, that one latched now. So make sure those are latched. And then this is your house batteries. So there's 4 of them, 6 volts. Here's the engine, of course. Your rear view backup camera. Side. And this cubby is just some spare spare oil, spare distilled water, funnels, whatnot. Here's how you turn the propane on and off, by using this switch here. So you'll be able to see which one is on and which one is off. So you shouldn't need to mess with that. You can usually just leave that on. Here is your leveling jack system. You shouldn't ever need to do this, but if you ever need to fill it with oil, this little spot right here is how you fill it with oil. You probably can't see that very well in the video. It's getting a little dark. Here's just a spare tire, spare air filter. You won't need to do anything with this. Spare cubby there for anything that you want to bring. Bunch of chairs in there, camping chairs. There's probably about 6 or 8 of them. A few kids' chairs too. More storage for you here. Two floor mats there. There's a squeegee there, and then a little bit more storage right there. The awning is up here. Let me show you how to do the awning. So the awning is right here, and it's just open and closed. You don't have to unlatch anything. It's super easy. Come up here, hold it, you hold the button down, you open it, wait till it's fully extended. Let go. And if it's windy out, don't leave it out. If it's even a little bit breezy, because that's expensive to repair and they rip pretty easy and they catch wind very easily. So if there's even a little bit of wind, bring it in. So to bring it in, you just hold the close. And you see I'm just holding the close button right there. And you kind of watch it. You wait till it closes. Okay. One other thing on the door when you're locking it, use this one. This one doesn't work the greatest, but that's the deadbolt. So use that to lock, and then use this to do the deadbolt there. You don't really have to mess with that one. This is a little, this extends the floor. So you can put this down and you can have more floor while you're driving, and then you can just clip it up there. This power step, you can push this, button right here, the entry step, and if you push it down, you'll notice when I shut the door, it'll stay out. So that just saves the motor. So when you're parked, also you can just leave it on the down position, and then it will just automatically come in when the engine's on. It automatically senses that. Let's see. These mirrors, sometimes they get loose, and one time I had this bottom arm get loose. That was only one time, and I had to tighten it with, I think it was a 1/2 inch socket bolt down there. But most of the time it's an Allen head right here, and this part gets a little loose. If that happens and you're driving, just pull over and tighten it. It shouldn't happen, but there's an Allen key right here that you can use to tighten it. It'll either be there or in here, in that little drawer there that I showed you earlier. Okay, so to run the TV, make sure the inverter is on. And then you make sure this little indicator light is on. And you have a keyboard up here and a remote, your Roku remote, so you could turn the TV on like this. It comes on, and then you turn the amp. You make sure the computer is on. This is a little computer in here, back there. And there's like 500 movies on that thing. And then on here, you go ahead and select the all media to get to the computer. And you press OK. And then you take the keyboard, and you have a little mouse pad on the keyboard. And you can basically, my finger's covering this, I'm so sorry. All right, and then you can come up, select the movie shortcut, and then you can select the movie, and then you can maximize it, and you're good to go. It'll say PCM. If you want to change the input, you don't have to do that. You can just leave it on. It's actually, see, it doesn't have signal now because I turned the input, and what's happening is from the computer the HDMI goes straight into here, and then that HDMI cord goes from here to there. So you have to have it on the correct input. I think it's SAT actually. Yeah, it's SAT. It's nice and loud, and good to go. Turn that off. Get your controller. Turn the TV off, and then store the remotes up here. Here's your extra fuses for that slide mechanism. Shouldn't have an issue, but lights are kind of self-explanatory. Just turn on. Some of them come on with switches, so we love to use these two main switches here to turn on and off the lights. And then when you're coming in, the switches you use are ceiling lights right there. And then these will turn on as long as they're in their correct position. And then if I hit the switch, they should come off. So it's just that second switch in right there. To move this chair around when you're parked, what you do is they're auto seats, so you move it up, and then there's a little lever you pull out, and then you can turn the chair around, and now you can use that as an extra chair. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. Oh, this is like a power fan right here. So it's open right now. If you need to get smoke out, or if you just need airflow coming through, this is awesome because it pulls a lot of air through here. There's 3 settings, and then you can shut it. Make sure it's shut. Make sure this is shut. All the windows are shut, and the bathroom vent is shut when you have the heater on. Otherwise, you're gonna burn through propane like crazy. Make sure all your windows are shut. These are shut. Those are shut. This kitchen one is a handy one to open. Also, I like to open the driver's one. It's nice and big and easy to open. There's some more fuses. Under the bed right here. circuit breakers right there, and then a fuse panel right here with some fuses. And on the back it tells you what it's for. So if you're wondering what that is, engine block heater. So if you're in a cold environment, before you start the engine, you can turn this on and you'll see it light up, and then you wait 5 minutes or so and then start the engine. If it's warm out, you don't have to do that, or if you just ran the engine, but that will just help you with cold starts. Let me show you how to start the engine, because I didn't go over that yet. All right, so you put the key in. You don't have to have your foot on the brake or anything. Turn it on. Wait until the wait to start light goes off. There's a wait to start light right here that will go off when it's ready to start. It's warm now, so it will start. And then we'll hold the battery switch thing, and then it fires right up. So that's how you start it. And then to go, of course, you put your your foot on the brake pedal down here, and then make sure your air is aired up. You're on auto right here. So this lever is switched over to auto, which means your airbags are full, and you can check the gauges right here to see that they're full. And then you put it in reverse or drive, whichever way you want to go. So let's say I wanted to go in reverse, and then to release the parking brake, you push in, and to set the parking brake, you pull. And now it's telling me I'm not neutral and the brake is on, so let's put it in neutral.